and I guess I'm just going to start it again. So all of you can like tune in and join again. So as I was saying before, like today we have got a pretty cool topic. So today's topic is dating strategies, dating and seduction. Yeah, I see Dakota has arrived. Amazing. Just waiting a couple of minutes so that like people can see that. So I guess he doesn't know that, but I did a little bit like research on him. And just before I invite him in, I would like to say a few words about him. He has got an impressive resume. So he is an agency represented model, signed up to an American agency. He's a serial entrepreneur. He owns his own like lifestyle and clothing brand called AC Elite. So after that, this live is finished. You guys feel free to check out and follow his Instagram page. But I'm more than sure he can like talk about it. He also has his own podcast and he regularly shares inspirational topics and kind of like dating advices on his own social media channel. So that's why I decided for today's topic, he is going to be the perfect person to share his experiences with you guys. So without further ado, hopefully I can able to invite him in. So looking for Dakota. Hey.
Hey.
Can you hear me? Sorry, I'm gonna go back a little bit because this is such a crowded place here. Yes, can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you, hear you perfectly.
Perfect. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's gonna be a storm here, so I might gonna like move inside, but I still like to sit outside because it's so nice. But I can see that you are also outside currently. Amazing. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for taking the time and like coming in live with me today. I know we were like talking about it now for a while. Like I'm so excited for that.
yeah,
So as you might have seen, I already gave a little bit introduction about you, but I'm more than sure that, you know, many people don't know you, or like, for example, my followers don't know you, like
of
your
course.
followers know you. Please, yes. So if you can, like, please tell us a little bit about yourself. As I mentioned that I know that you're a serial entrepreneur. So
Of course.
basically, you are quite a busy person. You are always on the move, as far as I can see. And basically, why did you decide, like, on top of everything that you are doing? So why did you decide to talk about and share, like, dating advices also on your, like, social media channels and feeds?
Yeah, those are great questions. So, I mean, my name is Dakota Thomas. I'm 25 years old. And, for the past 2.5 years, I've just been craving entrepreneurship any way, shape, or form. Like, how can I make money through a product that can help people or a service that can serve people? And what really got me into it was COVID, COVID-19, it made a lot of people lose their jobs. And a lot of people had a lot of fear, like, know where I'm at is really secure. So I was like, the best security that I can create is my own company, my own brand. So I started my own lifestyle brand about a year and a half ago. It's called the Ace Elite. If you follow me, it's on my bio. And that's been very, very successful in the past year and a half. It's not where I want it, but everything starts slow. So once I started that, I started realizing that it was really impacting people in a positive way. So I started transforming the lifestyle brand into a fitness brand as well. That way I can capture a lot of motivating people to wear the clothing and just have that confidence that they need to achieve what they want in their life. And right after that, obviously, me and my girlfriend, I've been dating her for about 6 years. She just became a yoga instructor and she's thriving in her own business. And I just started realizing that the experience that I had, I may not be a professional, but from the things I've learned and the things I've gone through, if I can share it with enough people, and even if they're not in my situation, I can prepare them for how to be in my situation because I feel like I live a really good life. I'm dating a phenomenal woman. And the only way I've been able to actually capture her and capture her interest and attract her and keep her with me for over 6 years. It's based off these things that I'll share today: my skills, my tactics, my strategies, but basically off my genuine demeanor. There's a way to talk to a woman to keep her attracted and interested in you compared to all the other guys throwing themselves at her every single day.
Yes, amazing guy. Actually, I mean, I know that you started your lifestyle band since the COVID, but I like
Yeah,
also I'm learning a lot on the go. So, can I ask, how did you guys meet? You said you are together with your girlfriend for like 6 years. How did you guys meet?
Oh yeah, so I lived in California, San Diego, California. She lived in Minnesota, and so she ended up taking a vacation to California, and I met her on the beach. So it was kind of like a movie moment, something too good to be true. And yeah, I just honestly was hooked, and I made sure that I didn't fuck it up with her for the short time that she was actually with me. And we thought that she was going to be with me for, she was just going to move to California long term. It didn't work out that way. So she only stayed for about a month or two, and then we're like, listen, like we're both really serious about each other. We can totally make this something in the future. Let's try long distance. So we did long distance for about a year. She moved back to California, and then I've been with her for another 5.
So right now, both of you are living in Minnesota, right? So you moved
Yep.
from, okay, get the story. Yes.
About 2 years ago, yeah, I moved from California to Minnesota just to get my life better financially and just have more focus. It's a little distracting over there.
And how was your experience with the long distance thing? Because also I shared a bit about it. I know that like long distance, so my personal opinion is that long distance relationship, they are beautiful, but at the same time they are very challenging because basically it requires a lot of trust, it requires a lot of communication. So I know how hard can be
Very
like.
true.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Long distance is extremely hard because you don't have physical touch. And that's the main thing that people think is attraction. And that's actually what taught me a lot of my game was long distance. Because a lot of guys are not going to go through that. It's like a dry spell consistently. So when people are going through long distance, they're like, it's easier to talk to other girls because your girl's never around watching you. It's easier to do anything with another girl because she'll never catch you. Or, obviously it's harder to catch you. But all those things, if you get those out of your head and you're focused on one woman and you're trying to be with her for that long distance span, all you have to focus on is how I can keep her attracted to me, keep her focused on me, and keep her loyal to me in the time frame of being long distance. Long distance has to be a time frame. If long distance is for 6, 7 years, just cut it
Yeah.
because you know what I mean. You have to have physical interaction. But yeah, basically what I learned was, I probably only saw her twice in the span of long distance by taking trips to each other, but the majority of it was on the phone. Um, Not really Zoom as much, but even just on the phone. And the way I would talk to her and the things that we would talk about, it actually really, really kept her hooked. And that's where, like I said, a lot of my tactics and my game actually came from. Just because if you can get inside a girl's head and her heart, it's easier to pull her strings. Not in a manipulative kind of way, but women are more controlled emotionally. So if you can trigger certain emotions that keep them excited about you, thinking about you when you're not around, then it's easier to keep her loyal and have a better relationship in the long run.
Actually, this is so amazing that you keep mentioning the game because this is something that, like, for example, like one of like when I talk about like how you become a high value man or basically like how to yes. So one of the main interesting thing is not just the look, not just the money, but also to have a game. And I feel like
Mm,
that a lot of men. So when I say to have a game or to have a like an exciting game, they don't really understand like what it means. So according to you
okay.
means that when a man is basically in the dating scene or in the dating world have a game.
Yeah, yeah. You're saying what would I say game is
Yes. So
to
what's
an average guy? Yeah, I would say game is using what you have and knowing how to use it properly as a as an instrument. When you have an instrument, you have a flute or you have a guitar. The guitar is not going to be useful until you know how to tune it right and know how to play it. And so that's what game is. Game is your charisma, game is your intelligence, game is your looks, game is your resources. It's everything. Game is how you make her laugh. Game is how you protect her, you make her feel safe. Game is everything. And so that's where game is endless. You can never stop learning it. And to people that have a lot of game, it's easier for them to walk into a crowd, pick up the hottest girl they see, even if she's not necessarily hot. You could pick up any girl you like and just get her attracted because it's human nature. Game is knowing how to use human nature to your advantage. That's all it is. Game is in a business deal, how to close the deal and get the money. Game is how to go on one date with a girl and make her fall in love with you. So game is everything. And once you learn game, you can put it in different aspects of society and different skills and different trades. And you can be very successful in different fields. And so that's why learning game is the same art form in business, relationship, lifestyle, everything. I truly believe that.
Yeah, it's not by chance that I understood that you started your lifestyle business and within a short period of time you end up becoming like successful in it because as I can see you are using the same principles in that. Amazing. I'm not sure
Yeah,
if you were not here when I started the first live, but basically I was mentioning that so recently I'm reading this book. I'm not sure if you are familiar with that, The Custom. So it's called A Game, like not
the
surprising.
game. Okay,
I brought it here by Neil Strauss. So I would say it's a kind of like, I think it was written like around 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So it's definitely not a new book, but basically
nice.
for penetrating the secret society of pickup artists. So that's why I decided to, you haven't heard about it, right? Because if you
I have
have,
not.
yeah,
I
it's
have not.
actually
But if
a
what I'm
long,
saying is in the book, that's kind of cool.
yes, yes. So, for example, yesterday when I was talking about like not that you need of this one, any of this, so how to kiss a girl and all of this like psychological things. So basically, I have been like paraphrasing it from this book. It's quite a useful one. Amazing. So, with that
That's
being
great.
said, are you familiar with the pickup artist community in general, or in your like local
Yeah,
hometown? In Mhm.
yeah. Of course, I'm familiar with it. Very, very familiar with it. Personally, I've never really taken too much advice from him. Just because, like I said, I already have my own genuine way of handling women, and I've also been with my woman for 6 years. So I have not had the temptation to go out and pull new chicks very quickly. And on top of that, I feel like my level of game is at such a level of seduction that it's not something quick like a nice little movie script. Like, hey, you look like a like it's just it's cheesy to me. To me, it's cheesy, and to me, I feel like women are extremely intelligent, and a lot of men are not understanding on how they're intelligent. The way they're intelligent is emotionally. You can say anything, but the tonality is what they feel. The tonality is what they believe. So if I come over here and say, "Hey, you look pretty," how often has she heard that? You know what I mean? But if I say something that only I'm aware of and only she's aware of, now she's attracted to me because she's like, "Wow, how did he catch that? How did he observe that on me? How did he notice that about me?" And that's attraction. That's attractive. When you're aware of something that a lot of people just aren't, it makes you valuable. Your attention already as a man is currency. And so the way you give it to a woman, that depends on how valuable you are to her. That's where money only goes so far. That's where resources only go so far. Looks only go so far. Because if you can't make a woman feel the way she wants to feel, she will find another man. And that's the hard truth. And that's what creates men going into this red pill culture and not being able to trust women and date women and all this. It's just because you lack game and you've lost the war. And you can step back in the war and keep fighting, but you have to change your skill set. You have to obviously have more weaponry, which is just more knowledge. And it's just experience. Just keep your skin in the game. You know what I mean? Like I've learned a lot of my best, a lot of my top wisdom has been made through a lot of suffering. So not a lot of guys or even girls are even trying to go through that stage of learning and messing up and then redeveloping themselves because that's the only way we actually evolve.
Yeah, but I would say you are already doing pretty well. You are 25 years old, so usually I say to so what I usually say to men is that like before they reach their 30s, so when they are in this so-called like empire phase building stage, so do
Yeah,
not a woman unless she brings a serious value to the personal life because this is the time period between the age 17 up to like 32, 33 when the man is building up his value. But I can see that you are like way on your way to yes. So you are
that means a
actually
lot. Thank you.
yeah, you are actually doing very good to your own age. Yeah, yeah. I'm actually surprised that you know so much about game and all of this being so young. Yeah. When I was 25 years old, not that I need of, but I didn't know any
Yeah.
of this stuff at all. Yes. So, Dakota, can you please tell me? I'm actually very interested when you said to me that like you develop your own strategy to keep your current girlfriend like interested about you and to keep her interest. So, can you specify that? So, what are the actions or what are the subtle things that you do? So, basically, to keep her like engaged and to fall in love with you like all over.
Yeah. I mean, I would say being unique is the best way that you can keep your woman engaged. And I mean, obviously, I could give you 100,000 things that I do, but I'm going to stick it to one and I'm just going to plant the seed. And if it grows into something more in your mind, um, let it happen. Because what happens is when you learn something new, you access new neurological pathways. And so you can start thinking different. And that's what I'm trying to do right now, is explain what I do, how it's different than most people, but that's exactly what keeps her engaged. So being unique is the best way. And sometimes what I do on purpose is I am very, very abrasive. So I'll say exactly what I mean rather than try to sugarcoat it to make her like me. And that changes the whole game, because a lot of guys are trying to swoop my girl and trying to compliment her and make her attracted to them so she can cheat on me or whatever. That's just the game. Um, and so what I do is I make sure that I'm always in her head. I'm always in her heart. She's always feeling me. Every single day she knows I'm attentive to her. Sorry, my phone just glitched a little bit. I make sure that my girl understands that I'm attentive to her, that I know exactly how she feels, that I'm the man for her. If she's a square, I can fit that square perfectly. But it's not that I frame myself and become her little project. It's more of, I know exactly what she needs, and I trigger those emotions every single day. And even if I make mistakes and she might hate me this day or she might be against me this day, that's fine. Because if you're the one pushing the buttons, you're the one that has the toggle and has the control. And a lot of people don't see that, because a lot of guys are trying to just walk on eggshells and, oh, I can't upset her. Oh no, I'm scared of her. That's, dude, upset her on purpose. Once you upset her, calm her down. Because every woman loves a man that knows how to control emotion. You know what I mean? If we're really bored, if like you and me, Andrea, like we're chilling on the couch and you're bored, and I'm just sitting here and I'm like, all right, get in the car, let's go. And then you don't know where we're going. I'm just, get in the car, let's go. We're just gonna drive somewhere. Now you're excited. You're like, where is he taking me? Now you're attracted. So same vice versa. If it's crazy and it's loud as shit, and you and me are at a party, and then I'm looking at you like, follow me. We go to a back room and now it's quiet. Your emotions change, and now you're engaged, and now we're able to have this conversation in this sexual manner. So that's what I do with my girlfriend. If she's having a really, really rough day at work, I try to flip the scenario when she gets home. We're having wine tonight. We're just relaxing. Baby, don't even worry about it. Like, the girls at work, they're going to be there tomorrow. Don't worry about it. They don't have a man like me. So you get in their head, like, you feel me? The girls around you that hate you, don't have a man like me. You have to make it seem like it's, make it seem like their position is better because of
Or
me.
you are the prize, right? Like you position
Exactly.
yourself as a prize.
You position yourself as a prize. You said it well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and for example, I'm not sure if you know that, but in this kind of like manosphere community or in the red pill community, so there is this saying that you can do anything to a woman than to bore her. So
Yeah.
basically, it's the same like analogy behind that. Like women are craving for adventures, women are craving for variety, and I think that yes. So I can like look back to my own life and basically like I would say that was one of the main reason why I left my ex in Finland, because like I just wanted to basically live a bigger life. I just wanted more adventures in my life, and I felt that like when I was
Nice.
single, I was able to give these experiences to myself. But when I was like in a relationship, suddenly I had got all this limitation, which it wouldn't have been a problem if the person would have been the same level of ambition or drive than me. But it's like a
Yeah,
woman
yeah.
doesn't want to feel that. So as a woman, I don't want to feel that I am more ambitious or I have got like more vision about my life than my
You're
partner.
right.
So of course, it's nice for me to say that I'm inspiring someone, but at the end of the day, a woman wants to be led by a man. The woman wants to
Yeah.
look up to a man. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and be motivated. You're right. And some people, I mean, guys and girls. That's why I love that we're both different sexes, because we can hit different angles. And you're right. I mean, a woman desires a man to be very, very adventurous, but he also has to have his shit together. So you have to have both. He has to be really, really funny, not boring, but also serious enough to take our life serious and protect us. So yeah, if he's not hitting one point at a certain point, a girl, like you said, variety, I'm gonna find a guy with more variety. And that's the game. It just gets smaller and smaller until you narrow in on exactly what you want. And then if you mold yourself into a person that makes it where that person that you really want wants you, game. You have to get in the other person's head. It's like a product. People are like, what's the best product? What product do I sell? The product doesn't matter. What matters is the client. What the client wants is what matters. The client wants a blue t-shirt, and you're sitting here looking at t-shirts. Well, what color do you think they want? Ask them. You got to ask questions, see what they like. What kind of exes did you have? When you're dating a girl or you're getting to know a new girl, ask her who she's been with. What kind of guys does she like? And then you can understand that once you're in her head, you can take her thoughts and put them in yours. Okay, she likes adventure. Let's go. I'll be adventurous. Fuck it. You know what I mean? You don't have to pretend at all, because as a man, you should be everything. I truly believe that. I think as a man, you should be able to fight. You should be able to speak your truth. You should be able to seduce. You should be able to run a company and be a CEO. You should be the king of your own life in every way, shape, or form. And I'm only 25. Like I said, I'm not an expert. Never claimed to be. People will think that I'm trying to be. That's fine. That's just because I speak with conviction. That's different. But I truly believe that as a man and as a woman too, you should definitely be thriving to reach every level of variety in your own life. And you should be doing different skills and different habits that develop you over time, because skills compound. Once you learn this, next year you can learn this. Next year you can learn this. And that's how game is too. Once you learn how to pull a woman and make her attracted to you, that's level 1. Level 2, how do you get her attracted to you enough to sleep with you? Once you sleep with her, how do you get her attracted to you to date you? Once you date her, how do I get her attracted to marry me? Once you marry her, you have kids. It's just, it goes up. And a lot of people they're not attracted to that because it's not quick. Like our culture really wants quick stuff. But it's my belief that both matter. You know, the impulses of dopamine, that quickness, and that serotonin, that long lasting, like valuable experience of reaching that opportunity and actually conquering it. I think that's what matters to me. That's why I started a company. That's why I've been with my girl for 6 years. Everything I'm thinking is long term, but also using daily tactics that short term is how you also work it. You can't just be like, all right, cool, we're married, I can just sit on my ass and get fat. Because a lot of guys think that too.
Yeah,
You got to
because
always,
her
go
and
ahead.
like I don't have to put any effort into that anymore, into the
Yeah,
relationship.
right?
Sorry,
Get
just
it?
gonna put up the light because I don't want to. Yeah, it's getting evening time here. Yeah, actually, these are like really, really, really
Storm is
cool
coming.
things that you were mentioning. Yes, yes. I'm like constantly like reflecting, and what you were basically saying that is how to develop yourself to become a high value person, whether if it's a woman or a man. And I think that in today's world, it's really difficult to become a high value person because it means that you
You're
need
right.
to have so much like skill set ready. I would say for men, it's more important to have life experience because women, they want to be with someone who has got, like life experience. But I would say that, yeah, to become a high value woman, you also need to have like certain experiences because
Yeah.
like no one is starting as a high value person. So you have to develop yourself to become one. And
Yeah,
you have
you
to
do.
go through failures, you have to go through heartbreak in life. And I think that no one can really avoid that. Yes, amazing. With that being said, so I know that like you are in a long-term relationship right now. So what was your dating strategy previously, or do you have any dating strategy at the moment, like inside the relation?
It was never necessarily a strategy. It was mainly like if I want something, like if I, for instance, if I wanted a girl, I would try to find a way to not fuck up my opportunity. And the best way to fuck up any opportunity with a girl is to be her friend. So it was always like strategy when I was single was more like I would get to know a girl and we'd have some fun together. But I would never make her feel comfortable to be a friend. Ever. I would never, never, ever make her feel comfortable to be a friend. I might be chill like a friend. I might be cool like a friend, make her laugh like a friend. But being her friend is on a sexual, it's sexual language. You can just feel if you're a friend, there's no color. It's gray. It's gray. That's it. And a lot of guys are like, a girl will be nice to him, and then the guy's like, oh, she's into me. That's not how girls work. Like that's kind of why my strategy honestly was never really a strategy to me. It was more of just how do I not fuck up my game. If I if I make a girl laugh and she's into me and she's like, oh, this guy's funny, cool. All right, bet. I made her laugh. We're moving on the next stage. What else can I do to excite this girl? Because girls have so many emotions. She's not looking for a comedian. Like that, if you understand what I'm saying, you can't just hit one angle. That's where strategies don't necessarily work all the way. The best strategy that I've learned is how not to fuck up. If you can learn how to not turn her off, how to not put her brakes up, how to not put her boundaries up, how to get her to not trust you, as long as you don't do that, you're already 90% of the way there. All you have to do now is have those looks that she wants, make her feel the way she wants. It's what she wants. Remember what I said about business? It's not about the product, it's about the customer.
For the
What does the
client.
customer want? Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, my strategy mainly was, eye contact, letting a girl know that you're interested in her just by noticing her, because girls love attention, right? So you got to give it. And once you give her the attention, it's more of a pull. That's what I realized with a girl. With a girl, it's more of a pull than a push. You have to hypnotize them sexually, emotionally, and you have to be intelligent enough to know that. You can't talk to her like a dude. You can't just be like, oh, what do you think about business? And what do you think about this? You can't interview her, but you ask her questions. Why do you care about that? Oh, really? It's cool that you care about it like that. Why do you think you care about it? You kind of get in her head a little bit, make her understand herself. No girl is more attracted to a guy that helps her understand herself. Because to a woman, they're the best person that they can meet. They're so emotional and they understand why they've done what they do. And as long as you don't judge them and they don't feel that judgment and they get their guard down, all you have to do now is get them sexually attracted to release their brakes. And once they release the brakes and they open up to you, it's a new game. And that's all you have to do. That's my strategy, is getting them to just be comfortable with me and calm, and then interested enough to open themselves up to me. And then it's another world. It's another game after that. And then it's just layer after layer. You just get deeper and deeper and deeper into layers. And that's why sometimes I'll be in states where I'm hanging out with a girl and her boyfriend, and the girl who's dating the guy is attracted to me. And now I'm in an awkward position now because I understand you're a woman better than you. And that's game. If I was a different kind of guy, I could have stolen her from you and broken your heart. But I'm not that guy. But I'm letting you know that so that you understand the game is real. I'm just a different soldier in it. So
yeah, not
yeah.
any guy can pull this one out, like, yeah, to take the woman from another man. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, high level stuff. Yeah, it's
Thank
actually
you.
very interesting when you were saying this about the sexual attraction, because one thing I observed that for a guy it's like very linear. So when a man is like naturally attracted to a woman or not, it's like, black and white. Either, I'm attracted to this woman, like sexually, physically, I'm not. But
You're
for
right.
it can develop over time. So I think that, as you said, that once you penetrate the mind, the body will
Yep.
follow. So it's the
Yep.
same example. I have had like basically men in my life that I looked at them as a kind of like friend material. So basically,
Okay.
but once they started to develop their values, so meaning that, they rise up on a social, like on a social ladder,
Yep.
after something like clicked inside my head, and I started to look at them like differently. So we are talking about the same guy, just a couple of years have passed,
Yeah.
and like the previous person that I dated, he posted something about social media that he was like, he went for a holiday, he was on an exotic location, and I looked at this picture on him, and just something inside of my head like clicked. And after that I started to become attracted to him. It's like really interesting, and we were like friends for like many years.
That's cool. It's cool you noticed that. Because that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's female nature, like at its prime right there. Like understanding female nature is probably one of the best things you can do to understand game. Because you don't change the game, you play the game.
Mm-hmm.
The game has rules, and
Yeah.
if you play the rules the right way, the game will actually work for you.
Actually, in this book, I'm just putting it. I really like this one. Like it says that don't hate the player, hate the game. So, yeah, you
Yeah,
are
right. Come on now.
the same thing. That's so cool. I feel like we need to have a second interview on this like game. It's like I find it like really, really fascinating. Yeah, just
We will.
checking also the time. So my next question would have been that why do you think that it's important for men or any man to basically learn the art of seduction? Like, why do you think nowadays it's an important skill for any man to have?
I think that it makes you very valuable as a person. Just because, like I said, you can use seduction in very different forms of skill and trade and work and lifestyle and relationship and everything. Once you learn one thing, you can turn it into something else. So what the reason why I think that all men should learn game and seduction is because if you can understand a woman's emotion, women are the hardest creatures on the planet to understand. And if you can understand a woman, you can understand an angry dude with a hammer trying to beat you up. You understand how to negotiate. And so you understand like on levels of tyranny and fighting and aggression. And you also understand on sadness. You understand how to talk to a woman when she's sad. You understand how to close a business deal when the guy is not trusting you all the way. You say, hey, listen, this product is really going to help you out. If it doesn't help you the way you see it in 15 days, call me. I'm sure I can do something to help you return it. Boom. That's game. That's just, it's calming emotions. It's understanding how to use emotions to lift it up, get people excited. We're going to do this. Everyone's in on it. You know, everyone does things when they're excited. Nobody does things when it's like mellow, like, should we do this? So that's why game is very versatile. You can use game in every aspect of your life. Yeah, I could go on forever about why games should be benefited to you, but that's why men specifically should learn seduction and game in general, because having a woman in your life and keeping her satisfied is probably one of the most intense challenges any man can endure, because it's an everyday battle and it's an every year war.
Yes.
And if you lose out of 300 days, if you lose 200 battles, the war is already on her side. She's winning. But if you can take it day to day and win every single battle. Yeah, go ahead, say it again.
I was just saying she's not going to stick around longer. Yes.
Exactly. She's going to be more dissatisfied. And then she's going to think there's so many guys in the world, not to mention you. I mean, you just told me, 10 minutes ago, you had this experience with another guy that was adventurous and all this and that. My girlfriend's had experience with different kinds of guys too. If I start looking like a dude that she doesn't want and she starts thinking about guys she used to be with, she knows those guys are out there. Even if it's not the same one, she knows there's other guys out there at that expertise. And so that's the whole game, is making sure your woman knows you're the man, no matter what. If you need money, I'll start a company. Boom. You don't even wait for you to have the bravery to do it. Don't even think about it until you know how to do it. Fuck the strategy. The strategy is staying confident and believing in yourself, because nobody believes somebody that doesn't believe in themselves. Nobody loves somebody that doesn't love themselves, the right way at least. And so that's game, is just believing in yourself and willing to do whatever the fuck you have to get it done. And knowing that it's meant more than just, oh, I might make a mistake and I might get insecure. That's bullshit. That's the first level. Level 10 is I'm ready to die for what I want. You know what I mean? So that's where game works, because if you understand human nature, you can use it to your benefit, especially if you're a very genuine person like I am, where I'm actually in it for the other person. I mean, I can make 10 girls fall in love with me, but I don't want to do that, because then I'm going to break 10 girls' hearts. So, I mean, it's power. Power comes with the responsibility, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, authority and power comes hand in hand. Yeah, and I would say that, like, even if we talk about like pickup artist community, this is actually just on the surface level, because pickup artists, they
You're
only
right.
know one skill, how to pick up a girl and how to take
Yeah.
her to bed, right? But the pickup artists, they don't necessarily know how to keep a woman involved like for a long term, or how to be in a healthy like love relationship. It's just basically how to pass the door, I would say. So that it was just level one. Yeah, I would also say
You're
that,
right.
yeah. So, learning the skill set how to pick up a woman, it can increase your confidence, but you're not gonna win
True.
the whole war with that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And like I said, it's so many different aspects. You have to trigger every single one. So, I mean, yeah, learning it, you definitely increase your confidence. And I'd say confidence is probably the best thing you can amplify inside yourself, because if you have confidence, but then you lack over here, well, now you have the confidence to fix it. Now you have the confidence to learn something new. You could be like, wow, I don't do that well, but I'm the type of guy that can figure it out because of the confidence. So that's where confidence is first. If you have that, you can do anything, even if you can't do it right now.
Yeah, just reflecting on, yes, what you were saying. Yes.
Yeah, no, you
Amazing.
can sit with it, no rush. I'm patient. I'm
Yeah,
here all day.
yeah. Just it's actually, I'm thinking of to go inside, because now the weather is like really a little bit like not so nice outside. So
Yeah, if you want to
jumping
move,
to
go ahead.
question, Dakota, and I also know, like, I really appreciate, I know you are a busy person as well. So according to you, what's the biggest fear challenges that men are facing when approaching an attractive woman? So let's say we are talking about someone who is single, or like, would like to get again into the dating scene. So what do you think that is the biggest challenge or fear men are facing when they see and they want to approach an attractive woman?
How they hold themselves, for sure. How they hold themselves. Because like I said originally, it's not a push, You don't push a woman into anything, you push men into anything. If we're going to war, I'm pushing you into it. Everybody's going. We're going right now. If we're going partying, we're pulling girls. You're pulling them. So it's all about holding yourself a certain way so that you can bring them closer to you rather than chasing them and, hey, nice to meet you. My name's Dakota. You know what I mean? It's not this high energy. It's low. Get them attracted to you, get them thinking about you, get in their head first. If you're not in their head, don't just run up and startle them, because then they're gonna freak. Like, it's gonna be like a flash of like every dude that's ever done that before. And if they've reacted the same way to that kind of demeanor and experience, they're not even gonna consciously think, wow, this guy might be different. So the way to do it, for all the guys out there that are trying to find a new girl, or just try to get with a certain girl that they like currently, make sure that, one, you're thinking about yourself. How are you framing yourself? What's your frame? Don't step out of your frame. Don't spill. If you're trying to be confident, don't show insecurity. But you don't have to be cocky. It's a balance. And so you have to really hold yourself a certain way that will make them interested in you, attracted to you, and comfortable in your presence. And if you keep them in your presence, you can control them. You can control their emotions. But if you're trying to figure them out and question them and try to do what they want you to do, you're not going to be in your presence. And so that's where girls will actually really hurt you and break your heart and manipulate you, because men don't understand emotions as well as women. And that's just fact. But if you can hold yourself well, you'll start to understand your own emotions. And once you understand your emotions, you can finally understand hers. It's kind of like when your water is still, you can see how to like still their water, But if you're always like anxious, oh my God, I'm anxious. Like, how do you control someone else's anxiety when you're freaking out? How do I get you out of depression when I'm sad? So you have to be what they're not. You have to show them, listen, I'm your cure. I'm your medicine. That's how you get a girl. I'm your fucking cure. Whatever you need. You got a boring life? You know what I mean? You laugh because
That is so funny. Amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm learning actually so much. This is like really, really valuable for me. Yeah, and let's say that when you said that you want to get a woman attracted to you, how would you make a woman attracted to you? Like holding your frame, but what else? Sorry, did you get my question, Dakota? Mhm.
okay, perfect. So that was a question.
Yeah,
I
I
want to see if
just
you
feel
could
like the
you hear me.
connection is a bit. So I was just asking that how would you make a woman attracted to you?
Yeah, so the way I would get a woman attracted to me is I would get it very, very personal without it feeling personal. Like, my favorite thing to do with a woman is to have her share her secrets with me
Mm-hmm.
without realizing what she's doing. Like, oh my God, like you make them laugh or something, and then you're like, oh, by the way, why you do this or whatever, and then they're like, oh, I do this because of this, and wait, why am I telling you that? How did I get to on this? You know what I mean? When you trip them out, you're like, I wasn't supposed to open up like that. So I like opening up girls. That's one of my favorite things to do, because I feel like a lot of guys, they're too focused on what they want out of the girl, like sex, a date, a girlfriend. So they're not giving her what she wants. Back to the client situation. So what I like to do is I like to meet a girl. I like to get to understand her without making her feel like I'm interviewing her, because that's not sexy. And then I like to get her invested into me. I might say something like, oh yeah, I've jumped out of a plane before, whatever. Just simple. And then she'll be like, oh, what? Make her curious. So I get her curious of me. Then I open her up a little bit more, understand what makes her unique. I prove to her that she's more attractive than other girls because of that one aspect of her that makes her unique. She's going to get turned on by that. Wow, this guy's kind of into me, whatever. And then that's basically what I like to do. I like to open them up, figure out what's new about them, what's different about them. And then if they end up saying, people say things subconsciously a lot. Like if they're like, oh, I'm doing a lot of school and I'm never get to go out or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I've actually dropped out of school so I can go live the best fucking life I can with the years of earth that I'm gonna be on. And if you contour what they say in a polar opposite kind of way, it's attractive to a woman, because women are we're different than men. So I mean, men are opposite than women. So if you work with that, you don't try to be the same as them. Oh yeah, I do that too. Oh, I'm in school too. Fuck no. Stop being the same.
Yeah.
Be different. You know what I mean? It startles the girl. It's like an explosion in their heart to meet a guy that's exactly the opposite of them. And I get into that situation with my girl. She's like, "Oh, you're so aggressive. You're all this and that." But at the same time, if I was a sloth and I was sitting on the couch all day and you said, "Why don't you ever go to work? Why do you not have a job? Why are you not holding it down?" You'd be upset at me in that way. And at least you're upset at me for being driven and dedicated and being an entrepreneur. And you're upset at me for that. That's a different level of attraction for being upset. Like, I can't control him. I hate that he's so aggressively assertive and he wants to dominate his life. A girl's attracted to that subconsciously, whether they say they're upset or not. But when a guy is the opposite and he's a sloth, I mean, that's where it's like, I'm losing attraction to you. I'm better than you, just like you said 20 minutes ago, how you were more driven than your man. And that it changes the sexual, relationship that you have. And that's hard to fix. Once you fuck that up, it's hard to fix. Because now you have to go through all these experiences with that same girl to disvalidate her current belief and rewire her mind into seeing you as the fucking man. Whether it's fighting a dude and protecting her, whether it's starting a business and enhancing your net worth by 100,000 a year and changing your entire lifestyle, moving countries, like it's very, very, very hard to excite a woman once you have fucked up for years on end. And that's why I think game is something that you have to be thinking about every day. How can I advance myself? How can I enhance my skill set? How can I understand how to talk to a woman and understand their female nature? Because if you can understand a female's nature, you can understand any nature at all, everywhere, all the time. Because like it's currently said, females are the hardest creatures on the planet to understand.
Yeah,
You
sometimes
understand them, imagine.
cannot understand ourselves. I feel like that we are like so complex, and we also don't understand like what's going on inside in our heads. So yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
why it's really hard for guys, because sometimes like we also don't understand ourselves. And what you were describing before, when you were like saying that your girlfriend was like angry of you for being so driven, I don't know if you know this phrase, but there is this phrase which is called like shit testing. So sometimes, woman is gonna shit test you to see like, where your boundaries are, or
right.
how further like she can go, like when she wants to get something. So do you have a technique or a strategy how to handle shit testing from a woman, or can you recognize when a woman is shit testing you?
Yeah, of course. Let me just check my phone battery. We are riding. Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
can you hear me and see me? Cool.
Yes,
So
when
yeah,
can also, so don't worry.
I've been shit tested a lot. I've been shit tested by other girls. I've been shit tested by my girlfriend. It's just something that girls do. It's a primal thing to protect you, which I understand. You have to make sure that the guy that you're with is actually who he says he is. It's a good way to break him down. And guys do that too with girls. I mean, we shit test in a different kind of way. But with girls, I have been shit tested before. A lot of times what my girlfriend likes to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as far and wide on the earth as I can. And you have to sustain the bomb as it's about to explode. You cannot let it explode farther than what I say, and you cannot pretend like it's not happening. That's a shit test. That's the language of a shit test. If you can understand how to maneuver through that and you give her the validation of being upset, but you don't bend to her too much, you understand that, hey, I hear you for sure, but I am the way I am, and this is why you should still be attracted to me. This is why I'm not going to change the way I am too far. I'm not going to decimate myself. I'm not going to sit on my knees. I'm not going to say sorry. I'm not going to, but I understand you. I can feel that I hurt you. That's something I should be more aware of, but I'm not going to change my demeanor. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like, that's the shit test, and that's how you move. So she's coming at you. It's kind of like what Bruce Lee said, how we're kind of like water. So if once they push, you pull. When they pull, you push. And it's a fight, it's a dance. Everything in life is a fight and a dance. And that's how it is with a woman. When she's shit testing you, she's fighting you. And if you could dance with her, while she fights, it fucks her mind up. She's like, how is he so calm and collected? You have to have a different goal in mind. You can't think, oh, she's fucking upset. She's so like, she's annoying me. And that's not the powerful mindset you need when you're dealing with a woman that's upset with you. That's exactly why you propose to these girls and then they fucking test you and then they leave you before you're married. And now you're crying and she's with some new dude. Like, that's game. You should have understood the shit test. You should understand she was testing you for the future. But instead, you couldn't even handle the heat in one moment that she's like, what the fuck, this guy? I mean, that's a shit test. I honestly 100% believe that girls take it too far sometimes and it can get toxic. But the root of why they do it is so real and raw and so protective to their nature. Men have to see that and find value in that so they can hold themselves a certain way. My girlfriend has molded me better than any woman before because I've sat with her for 6 years. And that's how it is with a diamond. A diamond was just some shitty rock in the ground. But you put pressure on it, you know what I mean? And you turn it into an actual diamond. And that's how I feel like it's happened to me. I've been hurt by a woman. Fucking, yeah, I've been hurt by a woman. I've been cheated on. I'm not crying about it. You know what I mean? Like, what I do understand is why girls cheat. And now I can understand how I can make it not happen. I mean, that's just life. You can't control the weather. But if you understand when it's going to storm, you understand how to prepare for that. So that's a shit test. A shit test is a
Yeah,
storm.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. You
How
were
do you, how do
absolutely,
you, yeah, that's all you
yeah, go
take it
on.
away. Oh, take it away. I mean, yeah, this is yours. I'm the guest, you know?
Yeah. Sorry, just waited for that. Yeah, actually, like very much when you were saying that, like I think that was a very valuable thing that you were saying that like you have to balance out the energies or the emotional state of the two people, right? So if your girlfriend is like really on a high, like anxious, or like she's like sorry having like a full blowout, then you have
Yeah.
to be calm because like a lot of times end up happening is that like when two people are having an argument or like a couple, so basically like one person is like kind of like turning the other person on the same emotional level. So now we are like talking about two people who are like kind of like, yeah, so basically both of them, they are just like saying things that after they're gonna regret because both of them, they are just this very anxious, yeah,
I
level.
love the way you said it too, that they're on the same level now, you know,
Yeah,
and how do you move somebody when you're up there? The way you
yeah,
move someone is you stay on the opposite and you just bring them down, or the other
yeah.
way, bring them up.
You cannot control the other person. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's a very valuable intake. Yeah, and I'm just also checking the time, and yeah, so with the
Of course,
connection.
yeah, cut me off whenever you need.
No, 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 no. I would like listen to you for like, and thank you so much for taking the time because like I knew that for this topic you're gonna be the perfect person. I'm like, yeah, really
Thank you.
grateful. Thank you so much. So my last question would be before like we're gonna ask the audience if they wanna have further questions, that any stories that you would like to share about your past dating experience? So anything which was like outstanding, which was like embarrassing to you, anything that basically you want to share that was like you look back to this example or you look back to this situation and you can like still remember for this certain scenario.
Yeah. I would say, I like to speak in ways that I can share value. I don't say anything to brag, just because I feel like that's just selfish and it only goes so far. But if I say an experience that can really benefit people, that is exactly my intention for everything I'm doing in my life, especially with my business right now. So with this experience I'm about to share, I would say that this is definitely going to benefit you if you're trying to attract a certain girl or you attracted too many at once. Because there was an experience I had at 18 years old. It was right when I was graduating high school, and I was invested in one girl, but then I had this other girl that I was just leading on, and I was interested in them in the kind of the same kind of way, but one of them I knew I could take farther. It could probably turn into actual relationship just because I admired her rather than the other girl where she just excited me. And so there's two different kind of levels that I felt in the attraction between these two girls. Long story short, they both were extremely interested in me. Took them to the same party, got into this crazy argument, and that's where they started fighting over me, and it just got really aggressive, and that's where it's almost like you have to know how to you know, create boundaries for yourself. Too many guys are too focused on, oh, how can I pull them? How can I do this? How can I have sex with them? How can I do that? You're going to create so many issues by doing that, that you have to understand how to prepare for that as well. And that's where you almost have to go in it with the right foot. Like the way you start is the way you finish. So if you are really trying to pull a woman, be as honest as you absolutely can be about what you want to happen. So that way you're not just faking it and then you got them to be with you and then, you know, they end up just leaving you or cheating on you or whatever because you fucking lied to them. Like that's not attractive. A girl likes a guy that can tell her, shut the fuck up. This is how I am. A girl likes that guy more than, oh, I'm sorry I lied to you. You know what I mean? Like, don't be scared of her emotions. And so that's what happened. I basically got myself involved with two women. They both wanted me. And then they both started to fight basically. And I had to choose one.
You mean
And
physical
sadly,
fight or like just fighting over you?
basically like
Physical fight?
almost physical, like almost putting their hands on each other. Like act, and I'm looking at it like these girls are fighting over me. It'd be better if they both wanted me and you figure something else out. But it wasn't like that. And so that's just kind of what the situations you'll get yourself into when you're talking to multiple girls at once and they end up knowing each other, you take them to the same party. But at the end of the day, I mean, you just have to know how to hold yourself as a man. And if you can pull a certain girl, understand why you pulled her, understand, you know, what she likes about you. And then you got to amplify that because there's so many girls in the world. And like I said, once you learn game with women, you can take it into business. You can take it into, you know, states of violence when you need to negotiate the predator to calm down and not shoot you in the fucking head. So I might say things very abrasively, but that's the real world. You know what I mean? Like I've been punched in the face by a boyfriend because I kissed his girlfriend while they were on a break. But to me, all I thought was, if I was able to kiss your girlfriend by her behalf, that's you that made the mistake.
That's your
You
fault.
didn't. Exactly. And I'm not taking up responsibility. I was told a lie. I was told, hey, we're done. The girl told me, oh, we're done. Don't worry about it. That's fine. I ended up going to his party. Worst scenario ever. Went to his party, and this was, you know, graduation party. And then in the middle of it, I'm hanging out with her. I ended up pulling her, and I ended up driving her because I had a couple friends too. I said, hey, do you guys want to come with us? They said, no, we already got rides. So I said, fine, you're coming with me. So I took her with me. So I rolled up. It already looked bad because it was just me and her. And then once we get to the party, he comes up to me instantly. Yo, why are you here? And I was like, you invited me. He didn't know I was taking his girl. So it was already a bad situation. Then like 2 hours down the night, me and her are sitting in the campfire, sitting next to each other, just drinking. And some dude runs up to me. I had a blue Mustang with white stripes on it. So everybody knew who I was. And the guy's like, yo, your Mustang's in the middle of the road. I'm like in the dirt. And I was like, there's no way I parked my Mustang there. So then I go back outside. My Mustang's literally who my boy Brad. What's up, Brad? The dude that moved my car, he was a mechanic, and I knew that about him. He went inside my manual transmission, put it in
But
neutral,
did they
and
steal the did
say it
they
again.
steal your car or how it happened? They stole
No,
the key? Or
no, I don't
did
know
they
what the
steal
fuck he
the
did.
key or
No, my key was on me. He's
okay,
a
you
mechanic. Yeah, so he's a
have
mechanic. So he went underneath and clicked my manual car because it's manual, so you could shift it. He shifted it underneath the car into manual to neutral, moved the car to the middle of the road so it would get fucking smashed by the next person that actually showed up. Long story short, I'm drunk right now, right? So I see my car in the middle of the road. I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm not thinking how it happened. I'm trying to enjoy my life, trying to enjoy this girl. So I end up hopping in the car, move it, hop back in the car, hop back in the party, go back to the campfire. I'm chilling there for about an hour and a half. And then the party starts to mellow out. I take the girl. I'm like, hey, I think it's time to go. So we end up walking out. And as I'm opening the door for her, this random dude walks up and says, hey, is that Dakota? And I was like, yeah, what's up, man? And it's dark. And instantly it's a 1-2, boom, boom, just right on my face. And just knocks me. He tries to knock me clean out. But I ended up falling to the side and catching my car and just kind of moving around the side. And I didn't know who the fuck this guy was. It was some random dude. And instantly, all these other dudes come out getting ready to jump me. And I'm looking at the situation like I was pissed. I was like a fucking lion. You know what I mean? It was like a lion with these fucking cheetahs, hyenas just coming at you in a predator state. And I started making fun of all the dudes. I was like, bro, if I took the girl, that's your fault. Like, there's no reason I should be fucking punished for your misbehavior. You're not turning her on. I am. And I sat there and they got so pissed. The guy knew I was about to get jumped. He told me to get the fuck out. Like, basically just drive. So I ended up taking her, long story short, around the corner because I was drunk, which I was upset with because it's like, why are you going to push someone out that's drunk and you're going to cause another scene and innocent lives, but they're teenagers, whatever. But that was basically a big story of what happened because that's what happens when you steal someone else's girl. But yeah, I mean, I got out of that pretty clean. I mean, obviously, I still got my face. I got a pretty fat lip still from that. Like, I can't shut my mouth fully. But like when it comes to a man, I feel like the best way you know that you lived your best life is you have more scars and you have more stories. And if you can do that and just focus on that, you're always gonna basically just die happy. That's why I would finish the question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's actually, I think that it's actually now your look is serving you well too, not just to dating the girls, but also to your modeling life as well. So that's a,
Absolutely,
that's a,
absolutely.
an advantage. So now that I get to know you a little bit, so your style is a little bit reminding me of Andrew Tate. What do you think about him? Like, are you familiar with Andrew Tate? And he's like, yeah, he also shares a lot of like topics on women and dating. Are you familiar with Andrew Tate?
Yeah, I was really familiar with him in the past, actually. Like about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I used to listen to this YouTube channel. He's this multi-millionaire investor, probably trillionaire at this point, who's taught many people around the world to become millionaires. And Andrew Tate was actually his video came on one time because they used him as motivation, and he was always talking about how, as a man you have to create almost like an iron mind where you don't let things control your emotions. And so that's actually where I got involved with understanding who Andrew Tate was, and how he held himself. And it really did complement a lot of me and a lot of my lifestyle, because everybody in my life has always said, oh, you've always been dangerous, you've always done things to risk your life. Because to me, I mean, the edge of reality, being at the edge of your own life, and knowing that death can happen at any moment, that's where you feel the most alive, is next to death. And that's where you cherish life, is when you could have literally been seriously injured or even dead. And so that's something that Andrew Tate preaches. That's something that I preach. I feel like we're very, very similar in our energy, and we hold ourselves in the same way in our demeanor. Personally, he has, gone a completely different route in regards to, running webcam businesses with women, having multiple girlfriends, things like that. That's his choice. We have free will. You can do whatever the hell you want. That's the beauty of this world. But yeah, I madly respect everything that he says, and I completely respect everything that he's doing right now currently to get his truth out in the world, whether it's with the narrative or not. Because that's the only way humanity can actually evolve beyond where it's at, is if we start embracing new ideas that strengthen us rather than make us conform. So that's how I would answer that question, if I relate to him and if I agree with him.
Yeah, and sorry, I just like decided to come inside because it's just the
It's way
cars
more
and
calm.
everything
It
was
was
like
it was
get
pretty out there. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty. I should have
yeah.
joined the cam like an hour earlier.
Yeah, and I think that one thing that I don't know, I personally like Andrew Tate. I know there's like a lot of people who know, like, right now that he's like a very controversial figure. I think that he has a lot of truth in what he's saying. I'm actually checked out a lot of his like YouTube channels. He also has got this like university.
Yeah,
He has a course on, what's the name of that?
Hustlers University.
Hustlers University. Yeah, I actually would like to enroll in that. But my intake on Andrew Tate is that he has got this mindset. So this is who I am. So take it or leave it. So like this no bullshit guy. Hmm. I think now we are losing